Hey friend, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, it's time to bring out the big guns. Dreadnought is a 9.4% Imperial IPA from Floyds Brewing in Munster, Indiana. The beer we have today has been a part of Floyds lineup for years. I mean, doing some research, the earliest I could find was 2007, but it wouldn't surprise me to hear that it's been available even further back. However, this is the first time it's been available in Michigan, and I feel like we're really just starting to get through the first real cycle of beers from Floyds here in Michigan since they started distributing in the summer of last year. I think it was like late summer. So this is going to be my first look at this beer too. And with all that being said, this is a really busy label, so let's get a look at it. We'll get it into a glass, but first I'd like to thank my executive producers, Brian Kramer, David Jeffries, Vinny Cat, and Cam Freeman for helping to bring this review to you today. If you'd like to help out the channel, become a producer, or just throw me a couple bucks to buy me a beer, take a look at my Patreon at patreon.drafttherapy.com, where you can get early access to these videos and a few other special perks that are available only to patrons. If you're not able to contribute monetarily and you still want to help out the channel, just share this video with your friends. I want to cast a wide net so we get people that are interested in beer checking out the beer that we're talking about. So let's get a look at the label. We're going to start from the front. This has like a Lost in Space, Danger Will Robinson vibe all over it to me. So across the top it says Dreadnought. Underneath that it says Imperial India Pale Ale from Floyds. It has a robot with some, looks like almost like bee stripes, and it's got a couple guns. One hand actually has guns, the other one has like a saw blade or a buzzsaw blade. It's like a kind of menacing looking robot. It fits their whole kind of sci-fi theme. Lots of green going on here, lots of orange. If we turn it to the left, it has the 3 Fs for Floyds. It has FF3 actually. It says Munster, Indiana, USA, Earth. Underneath that, it says It's Not Normal with a skull. If we turn it to the right side, it has the Floyds skull. It says a bunch of zeros and 3 with an X. It's almost like a window that you can close, but it's obviously a label. I can't touch the X and close this. It says an Imperial India Pale Ale with an intense citrus hop aroma, a huge malt body, and a crisp finish. Alcohol 9.4% by volume. It has the Floyds, some other alternate kind of logos, alternate takes on Floyds. It has their website, 3floyds.com. On the other side, it just has the brewed and canned by Floyds Brewing in Munster, Indiana. This has a package date of March 21st, 2022. Today that I'm recording this, it is April 2nd. So this is just, what, like a week? What did I say, the 22nd? 21st. It's like a week and, I don't know, 10 days or whatever. Math, too much. So I'm going to use my Draft Therapy Tiku glass here. We're going to crack it and put a nose on the can here and see what kind of aromas we're getting. All right, let's put a nose on it. Getting a big citrus vibe out of this, like pithy, orangey citrus notes. Maybe a little bit, I would say malty, but I feel like I'm just being influenced by what it says on the label here. So let's go ahead and pour this. Coming out a bit of a dark golden, maybe a little bit closer to orange if we kind of let it settle up here. Pour it a little bit straight in there. We're getting about 2 fingers ahead here. Pretty healthy 2 fingers of head. Really compact bubbles. A little bit of an off-white head, maybe shading a little bit towards an orange color itself. Just off-white, just not much. Not super off-white. If we hold it up to the light here, that is... I can see through it. I mean, there's, I can definitely make detail out of my fingers. There is a lot floating in suspension here. I wouldn't say it's unfiltered. It's definitely not hazy. It's just kind of particulate floating in there. It looks like a traditional IPA. You would not confuse this with a New England or a hazy or maybe, I don't know, a juicy style IPA. Let's put a nose on the glass here. The orange citrus notes kind of vibe I was getting out of the can have gotten a little bit more sweeter. It has a bit more of a sweet aroma out of the glass. Still citrusy, but more sweet, like not quite as pithy orange kind of aroma that I was getting before. So let's go ahead and try this one out. Cheers. Always talk about the mouthfeel here first. The mouthfeel is actually pretty heavy for an IPA. It has heavy notes to it. Like, it's definitely got a thick, viscousy kind of flavor. It's not syrupy. It's not like a goopy kind of mouthfeel, but it's definitely a lot heavier than most IPAs that you kind of go with, or that you might pick up. It's even a little bit heavier than most like Imperial or double IPAs that I've had lately. Those seem to be, they're not like in this kind of style, not the New England's, not the hazy, not the juicy stuff. They generally don't quite go this thick. That's a bit of a nice change of pace, though. Let's talk about, I'm going to take another big drink. We're going to talk about the flavor. So I do get a sweet citrusy orange flavor. That's definitely in there. That's on the up front. In the middle of the swallow, you start to get like, you're still getting that orange, you're still getting that citrusy orange flavor, but that's these malty kind of vibes start to come in. You're starting to get a little bit more of that malty sweetness. And then on the swallow is when you start to pick up the bitterness, like the bitterness starts to come through. But all things considered, 9.4% Imperial IPA, or you might know it as a double IPA, it's not really that bitter. Getting those big orangey notes, getting those big malty notes, I wouldn't say, I hit my elbow there, I wouldn't say this is really like, it's not like two-hearted malty, but it's definitely malty. It's got a malty sweetness in there. It's got that kind of woodsy kind of bitterness that sometimes I pick up, or that I generally pick up with like two-hearted. So it definitely has those kind of characteristics as well. But then on the finish, the bitterness comes through. It's a bit of a piney, a bit of a citrus bitterness, but it's not overpowering. It's not super strong. I mean, you will not drink this and think, oh, this is definitely a blonde ale. You will definitely drink this and think this is an IPA. But for 9.4%, for being as high of ABV as it is, and being a double IPA, it just doesn't have, it's not like in your face, just punch you in the mouth like bitter. And it kind of dips into almost, it's like on the verge, it's like dipping its toe in the water of being a West Coast, but it's definitely solid Midwest style IPA because of that maltiness, because of that citrus kind of flavor up front, and that sweetness, that sweet maltiness. It definitely tastes a lot more like a two-hearted than it does a West Coast style, like a Stone IPA, like those really bitter IPAs. It does have a bitter note, but it's really interesting that it feels like with all these different breweries that are, I feel like we are really just like, we pine after, or we chase after these beers, no pun intended, pine after. We chase after these beers from these distributors, or from these breweries, not distributors, but from breweries that we want to come to the state. And when they come to the state, it's like, oh yeah, I've had a beer like that. This kind of tastes like that. This definitely shares, it feels like it shares the same, maybe it's the same kind of malt bill, or maybe it's like the hops that they used. It definitely feels like it is in the wheelhouse of a two-hearted. Definitely heavier, again, 9.4% compared to the 7 point whatever percent that a two-hearted is. It definitely falls into that same kind of category, though. And I feel like if you like two-hearted, you'll definitely love Dreadnought. If you don't like two-hearted, you're probably not going to like this. It is less bitter than two-hearted, though. And the reason that I'm bringing up two-hearted is it just kind of fits that frame of reference. This is a little bit, I think this is a little bit more orangey than two-hearted is, a little less malty than two-hearted is, and a little less bitter than two-hearted is. So if you're looking for something that is like two-hearted is just not scratching that itch anymore, it's just a little bit too bitter for you, a little bit too malty, I think this is a nice kind of sidestep. It's like a lateral move. You're getting a little less of that maltiness, but you're still getting maltiness. You're getting a little less of that bitterness, but you're still getting that bitterness. But you're getting a lot more of that oranginess, that kind of, I mean, straight dead-on orangey, citrus, kind of pithy flavor that if you like two-hearted, you'll love this. If you're just like, you're kind of outgrowing two-hearted a little bit, but you still want to stay in that zone, I think Dreadnought from Three Floyds it fits the bill. I mean, it definitely would slide right in if that's what you're looking for. All right, friends, that's been Dreadnought from Three Floyds Brewing. Have you had this beer before? And do you find yourself going back to more of these traditional style IPAs, or are you still on that hazy train, or are you just kind of done with IPAs altogether? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell. I'm here talking about beer twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's all for free for viewers just like you. And you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribing to those notifications. If you like the channel, You can subscribe, that'd be great. If you share this video, it's almost better, because then we can cast that wider net like I was talking earlier. So, until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by. Remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries. These guys are in Munster, Indiana, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little Draft Therapy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Cheers.